Hello and welcome to the Tomorrow News. Today I am going to tell you a story that takes place during the upcoming week, but it began several years ago. At first, it seems like a tragedy is unfolding, but what follows becomes a testament to the human spirit. This is not a fairy tale, it's not a fiction, it is not a Hollywood movie. This is a true story that brought the world to a standstill. The story of a group of Thai boys trapped in a cave and the people who did the impossible to bring them back. It all began on June 23, 2018, Chiang Rai Province, northern Thailand. 12 boys from the local football team the Wild Boars and their young coach entered the Tham Luang cave. It's a long, winding maze of narrow passages, steep rock walls and muddy tunnels. They went in after practice, just for a short visit, an hour or two, to explore, to hang out, a birthday, a few laughs, a group photos, nothing special. But then the rain came. Thailand monsoon season can turn dry paths into underground rivers within minutes. The water flooded the entrance and cut off their way back. The boys and their coach were trapped, deep underground, with no light, no food, no way to communicate. They moved further in, searching for higher ground, and they waited. Outside, their family started to worry. Where are they? Why aren't they back yet? A few hours later, the search began. Police, army units and rescue teams entered the cave, but the rain didn't stop. Conditions inside were a nightmare: mud, cold, darkness and rising water. No one knew how deep they had gone. No one even knew if they were still alive. Days passed. 1, 2, 5, 7. The world started to notice. Help came from everywhere. Divers from the UK, doctors from Australia, military teams from the US, engineers from China. One by one, expert teams arrived. People with no direct link to Thailand who simply said, "We're coming, we'll help." On the 9th day, a miracle happened. 2 British divers, Rick Stanton and John Volanten, found the boys. They were huddled on a small rocky ledge almost 4 kilometers inside the cave. Alive, exhausted, hungry, but still alive. In the darkness, one of the divers asked, "How many of you are there?" A boy replied, 13. And the world held its breath. But the joy quickly turned to worry. Finding them was one thing, getting them out was something else entirely. Most of the boys couldn't swim. The tunnels were narrow, so tight that even the divers had to remove their oxygen tanks to squeeze through. The path was underwater, and the greatest danger of all, panic. Underwater panic is fatal. Then came a bold decision. The boys would be sedated. Under full anesthesia, each child would be fitted with an oxygen mask and carried out one by one, unconscious, through the pitch-black flooded cave. The risks were massive. If a mask slipped or if the sedation didn't work properly, the outcome could be fatal. But there was no other way. Time was running out. 13 days had passed since the boys entered the cave. Then, on July 6, a tragedy struck. During preparations for the rescue, a Thai diver named Samangunan died. He was a former Navy SEAL, volunteering his time. He passed away, delivering oxygen tanks deep into the cave. He believed the children's lives mattered more than his own. The world learned his name, Samangunan, a true hero. No spotlight, no words, just action. In the early hours of July 8, the rescue operation began. The first boy was sedated by a medical diver. carefully monitored pulse, breathing, mask sealed. Then he was handed over to the first of several divers who would guide him section by section through the treacherous route. In that moment, time slowed, thoughts cleared. It became just one mission, getting through. And so, one by one, they began bringing the boys out. Each full trip took 4 to 6 hours. Once out of the water, medical teams checked vital signs, administered anesthesia if the child stirred too early, then carried them on stretchers through the final dry passages into waiting ambulances outside. The next child was already on the way. The operation lasted 3 days. They worked without pause. Thai SEALs, international teams, volunteers, cooks, drivers, over 10,000 people were involved in some way. On the second day, several divers chose to stay inside, resting briefly in a small air pockets where oxygen supplies had been installed. They said they couldn't leave until everyone was out. On July 10th, after the final shift, the coach and the last divers emerged. When the final rescuers stepped out of the cave, applause and tears erupted. In that moment, it didn't matter where anyone was from. It didn't matter what language they spoke. Only one thing mattered. No one was left behind. After the rescue, the world kept talking about Thai cave miracle. It made headlines everywhere, filled social media feeds. But for the boys themselves, life quietly went on. They returned to school and kept playing football. But they weren't the same. Some received scholarships, others met their idols. One of them even became a monk for a short while, in honor of Saman Gunan. And the people who rescued them, divers, doctors, volunteers, never called themselves heroes. They simply said, "We just did what had to be done." This is a story about the human spirit, about how we can achieve anything when we work together. Just when things seem darkest, we are capable of shining the brightest. So let's remind ourselves, we can do absolutely anything as long as the cause is good. And never forget, tomorrow is a bright day.